Hello everyone, welcome to my live stream. My name is Denise Hutchins and I'm broadcasting to you from Studio Mikarts. Our charity of the month is Tower Hill Stables Animal Sanctuary, and you can help me help them by simply watching my stream and bringing your friends, because I'll be making a donation at the end of the month based on my unique viewers count. Oh shoot, I forgot to update the donation thing. I'm going to do it right now or else I'm going to forget tomorrow too. I normally have the donation button set up here on Twitch, but I keep forgetting to do that. So let me do it right now because I forgot yesterday too. Okay, hold on. We still have the rat retreat up. That was last month. I completely forgot that I wanted to do this. Okay, I'm gonna go to creator, and then you go to settings. No, you go to oh, charity. It has its own thing. Yay, there we go. Okay, gotta move some of my stuff now so I can type. A nice keyboard out. Wait, let me see if I already have one. I don't know if I've supported them before on Twitch. Okay, we'll stop the rat retreat because it's no longer July. Ooh, hold on. I want to take a screenshot. It's telling me your community raised a $10 goal. Yay! So I want to screenshot that and share it later. Boop. Oh, is it not going to present me with the thing to actually save it? Ah! Why? Okay, hold on. I gotta go. I did not expect this to be how my stream would open today. Okay. Now we need to find Paint. We'll just use plain old MS Paint or whatever it is these days. Oh, it's typing in Japanese. No! English and Paint. There we go. Let me bring this over here so I can actually see it. I have my setup so that my secondary screen I can look at while I'm here at my physical media workstation. But most of my stuff opens in my main screen, which is over there. So this is always a bit difficult. How can we paste? There we go. And then crop it to size. Excellent. Save. We'll just save it on desktop. And I'll just save it with today's date, which is 08/22. Boom. There. Okay. Now I'm trying to see if Tower Hill Stables. Let me see if anybody's popped in there. Nope, nobody's popped in there yet in the chat. See if I already have one from before. But it looks like not, so we're going to do new fundraiser and Tower Hill. There it is, Tower Hill Stables Animal Sanctuary. Create fundraiser. Hold on, I got to cough again. I say again because one, I've been coughing all day, and two, yesterday's stream was punctuated with coughing breaks, so the cough has not really improved since yesterday. Okay, it's in British pounds, but to keep it simple, we'll do the same as usual, which is 10. 10 British pounds. And save fundraiser. Then start fundraiser. Yes, start fundraiser. Hooray! Okay. Now. Oh, Wolf popped in. Pop. Hello, Wolf. How are you? Thank you for joining me like right away. Wow. You have today off? Are you joining me from work? I guess I can resume my... Where's my mouse? There it is. I couldn't find my cursor. I can resume my introduction now. Now, if anybody would like to donate more directly to Tower Hill Stables Animal Sanctuary, the donate button should be on there. So, then the final thing in my introduction is it's illustration day. So we were working on this one yesterday. We will definitely be able to take this from physical to digital media over there on my digital workspace. But let's finish the physical media first. Oh, you're joining from work. Thank you. I always feel so special that you decided to join from work. Oh, hold on. The coughs are coming again. Yay! I'll do my best to make this a nice stream for you to enjoy while you're doing your work. You still working at the printer company? Can't remember. I remember Epson is your enemy. Oh, it's brother, right? Yeah, because I have one of your printers in this room. Okay, so I guess as a recap for anybody who didn't see yesterday's stream, we were working on the letter C, going through my Magical Creatures Encyclopedia. This is the Cabyll, how do we pronounce this? It's like Cabyll-Uisge. Cabyll-Uisge. It's the Irish water horse. It eats livestock and rends young ladies to pieces for some reason. It's a very dark and violent creature. But we've got this nice scene. It's picking out its next meal, I think. And we've got its origin is the Isle of Man. And so we've got two animals, real world animals, that are native to that space, or at least the sheep are native to that space. And then these birds, I think they were called chuffs. They flourish wherever these sheep are. So that's why we have these little animals in the background. And where I left off was adding hatching to try to create more contrast mostly between the sky, the land, and the sea. I'm also thinking about what color should this creature be, the water horse. So I've got to keep that in mind. I don't want it to be dark, probably. I've got this as a reference. I might just use this and maybe keep the mane white instead of brown. The reason being, I don't want it to get lost because we're making these cliffs dark. If I make the water horse dark, then it will get lost. Oh, nice. Well, we've talked about it enough times. I love that brother printer that I have, so thank you for working at a nice company that makes nice products. Let's see. Okay, hold on. I gotta mute again. It's a bit frustrating. I seem to have exchanged to symptoms a little bit. My running nose and coughing have gotten worse since yesterday, but my energy levels are better today, so I'll take that. That's definitely a nice trade-off. Okay, so let's just continue with these cliffs. I'm going to turn my sketchbook this way because it'll be easier to make the lines in the direction that I want. The ink I'm using is the Kuretake Sumi Ink 60. It's super good. It's my favorite. I've gone over in the past why it's the most epic ink ever. So I won't do that again. But that's what I'm using. This pen I'm using is the it's written right here, Utsushi by Pilot, I believe. Yeah, by Pilot. What it is a dip pen. It has this clear body, but it's just a dip pen, and it has a fountain pen style nib on it. And these are the two items I'm using, plus this sketchbook, for all of these Maginaturalist sketchbook pieces. So no other ink, no other pens. Okay, so as I'm looking at this today, the biggest thing I think is that I just need to keep working on these cliffs. They're just not dark enough. So what I'm going to start with is lines that are farther apart than the ones I added yesterday. So it'll help darken it overall, but hopefully still leave some variation to show that the light hits these hills, cliffs. It's not just one big dark mass. There's some variety to the lighting. Plus there's grass on them and other things that make it so it shouldn't just be all super black. I also don't want to obscure these little silhouettes of sheep. That's another reason that this time I'm doing the wider set lines. What I'm looking for now is overall contrast between sky, land, and sea. All right, just keep moving down. I'm drawing the lines horizontally. Well, this is vertically to me right now, but horizontally to the logic of the image. The horizontal helps make it look more like a landscape. I learned that a long time ago through trial and error. I did a colored pencil piece. I still have it. I still remember the realization of what I did and what I should do different next time. Once I finished, I filled in the entire sky, but I used vertical lines, and then when I looked at it, I was like, oh, this doesn't look right. And that's when I realized, for sort of landscape style stuff, landscape, skyscape, anything, try to go with horizontal lines. For some reason, that just translates better in the human mind, I guess. Because obviously, this picture, there is no land. There is no sky. There is ink and paper, and that's it. So sort of tricking the viewer's mind into putting the pieces together. I think this is working really, really well. I'm already really happy with how the contrast looks now. The cliffs I remember from yesterday's reference image, which I still have on my phone. They should be the darkest element as far as the landscape goes. But boom, look at that, that's so much better. I do think I want to fill in this eye on the water horse. It should have. Or maybe, oh, this is kind of nice. Just putting the pupil in there. Although horses have a horizontal pupil. Well, it's from the side, so it's hard to draw it horizontal. I'll just do this. No, I'm just gonna do this. I think I'm just gonna fill it in. And maybe I'll add a little touch of white ink to show that it's wet from just because it's in the water. I dipped my pen again. But what I really want to do right now is look at that reference image. Let's see if I can do it really fast. Because now I want to tackle the water. I want to see what looks like the best way to tackle it with hatching. So here's that image that I edited to be black and white and much higher contrast. That's just more horizontal lines. Like I was saying yesterday, I am purposefully leaving a little bit of a halo around the water horse because that's our main character. I tried to avoid that here on the background. Oh, I just realized that my little camera could be better positioned. There we go. Trying to use longer strokes here to help show. So the rocks are all craggy and broken up, stones here and there, but the water is one big thing with waves in it, so trying to show that with the stroke length. I think that's turning out pretty good. I am getting the sense of the sky being the lightest, which is what I want, the land being the darkest, and then the water being in the middle. So we'll just continue on like this. Horses, we're getting closer here. I'm going to change how I ink. Oh, Wolf, thank you! Thank you, thank you, thank you! Yay! Thank you for donating the full amount! Hooray! Made it worth it for me to spend that little bit of time getting that set up. Thank you so much! All the animals over there, I'm sure will be grateful as well. Oh, and I suppose for anybody who's only listening and not watching, Wolf just donated the full £10 amount to Tower Hill Stables Animal Sanctuary. I really appreciate that you've been doing that like every month. You've got a streak going. I want you to know that I don't take that for granted. I am extremely grateful. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that it's useful for you too. It really makes me feel like my work is doing something good. But that's all thanks to you, so thank you. That's pretty good. Yay. Now I think I'll just add some hatching for shading on our Cabyll-Uisge. I'm going to turn my sketchbook this direction now so that I don't risk putting my hand in any still wet ink down here. So let's see. It's hard because it's not really any direct lighting in my scene because it's meant to be an overcast day and it's also nightfall. But I can still see on this little reference areas where, just because of the overlap of the body parts or the way they curve, there would be a little bit of indication of shadow. See what's good angle for each of these. This one will be this way. Put a little under the eye on purpose to make it look maybe a little sunken and kind of scary. This creature is definitely scary. Oh, what the heck? Thanks for letting me know that that happened. Did you try peeling it off? Since it's that art paper, I don't know how well it would peel off though. That's the first time I ever heard of that. Maybe they had some problem with their... Usually it has just prints it on, you know? Postage sticker. So is it like a sticker with the barcode on it? Or is it like actual... like an amount of money or something on there? That's super weird. I wonder if maybe it came off of a package or something. I don't know why they would do that. I'm glad that it still looks nice. Ah, yeah, that's so weird. They usually put that along the bottom. There's even a space at the bottom that I always avoid writing on the back side. You're supposed to leave this little space like an inch, or not an inch, like a centimeter tall. And that's supposed to be where that barcode goes. So I wonder why they put it on a sticker and put it on the front side. That's super weird. Wonder if I can do an inquiry just to find out why that would happen. Why would they do that, period? So here I'm using some hatching on the mane, and I'm bringing it down into the water. Kind of indicate that we can see a little hint of the mane in the water. But since it's so dark, and it's seawater, really deep, can't see that much, just a little bit. I'm going to ask my phone in a second why they even use stickers at all. So now I'm thinking about that. I'm like, okay, I've seen those stickers before. Well, why sometimes is it just printed on? And why sometimes it's used as a sticker? I think I'll do it now because I'm at the point where I want to have a look at this and see, do I need any more ink, or is this good and we can scan it in? So I added hatching on the mane to show that it has depth and there's different pieces of hair overlapping other pieces. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how it's looking, but this will be a good excuse to give my eyes a break. Oh, you sent me a reference. Okay, awesome. Yep, sometimes it's like stuff like that, I'm not sure how much I can control, but if there's anything I can do to control that, to prevent that happening, then I want to do it because I don't want it to get ruined. Let's see, USPS, Y, sticker, barcode, instead of print. For instance, one of my writer Patreon members, she had her postcards in the mailbox for a few days before she could check her mail. And over that time, it rained. And even though they didn't get wet, it was humid enough that they, like, the ink bled and, you know, they were messed up by it. And I was like, oh no, and that's something that I can help with. So from then on, I now use it's actually for comic books, but I use one of those protective plastic bags to wrap the postcards in and then tape it up so that if they get wet, if the envelope gets wet, or they're left in a humid environment, then as long as they're in that plastic, they should be as protected as possible. No, not shipping labels. This is just stuff you can do yourself. How else can I ask this? Why does the USPS sometimes print the barcode directly on the mail piece, and why does it sometimes put it on a sticker?
According to post-processing community, it's a barcode that helps with sorting. Sometimes, though, they put a sticker on it that's easily removed with those lines instead of covering your writing.
Oh, well, here's somebody on post-crossing. There's an answer. I'm glad I asked it like that. This says, well, I'm not sure what the question is. I guess I'll click in so that I can get the full context, so that the answer makes sense when I read it. So, this person is explaining exactly what I was talking about. How postcards, you're supposed to leave this little bit of space here at the bottom. The person's question is, do I write below the line or not? Seems a big waste of space not to blah, blah, blah. So, like, basically, why save that space? And then this person says, post office worker here. Yes, you can write below that line, but it may be covered by this line full of little black dashes. It's a barcode that helps with sorting. Sometimes, though, we put a sticker on it that's easily removed, no residue, with those lines, instead of covering your writing. It depends on the post office, but usually the text is still readable. And it for sure doesn't need that much space, lol. You could probably fit both the marking and 2 more sentences. I'm not sure that the last part is referencing, but anyway. So it sounds like if you're careful, you might be able to remove that sticker. So I guess it's just up to the post office. Oh, sweet. Yes, let me know how it goes, because this is excellent. I'm so glad you let me know about this, because then if anybody else comes across this and asks me about it, I can let them know. And then it's just good for me. I really want to know if it can be safely removed from the art paper that I use. Okay. I feel like I need to do this thing that I do, which is, I'm going to set this up like this. You won't see it on the big camera, but I'll adjust my little camera so you can see. Well, you have to see it from the side, or else I won't be able to see it. Okay. So, what I'm going to do now is stand up and look at this from a distance. I want to see what the contrast is looking like. I want to see if this water horse is standing out, or maybe if I need to do like another black outline or something to help it stand out more. Also, so I'm standing like, oh, I don't know, 6 feet away. That's as far back as I can go. And I'm looking at it. The contrast between sky, land, and sea seems great. So I'm happy with that. The water horse might be able to stand out a little bit more. I'm now squinting my eyes. And the point of that is to take away some details so I can get a general sense of what's going on in the picture. Yeah. I think maybe what I need to do... Okay. I don't need to look at it up anymore. Just move this stuff back down. So... put my little camera back. That's pretty good. I have a couple options. I could outline the water horse more. I could also just wait until I go digital, because it could be affected by what I am seeing the blue. This blue will be gone after I edit it out. So maybe what I could do is just enhance this white halo that I tried to keep, but so a couple areas where it got really close, and I can just clean that up. I could also just add a little bit extra ink. I don't have to outline the entire water horse. I could just outline certain areas, like this side feels like it could use a little bit more, and maybe here where it's coming out of the water and underneath the jaw. So let's try that. I think that might be good. And then I'll just need to write the date on here, and then we can scan it. Yay! Put it in. Oh, I'm gonna have to clean off my scanner. I've been trying to clean up my studio, and then all this stuff happened, and my studio is worse than ever. It's so messy. Everything is covered in stuff. I will have a clean studio again someday. Someday. Oh yes, I love that. I love that. Just a little extra thick there. Let's do the same thing on the water. I'm gonna turn this though. And then the last place I want to do it, underneath the jaw. And this helps give a sense of shadow too, especially in a scene where there's not meant to be much strong shadow because of the environment, because of the weather. So actually right here I feel like I use a little bit more ink too. Oh, it's already dry. Let's get a little bit more. This piece of hair going down the middle is kind of laying on top of all these others. So that's why it feels like a little bit extra dark right here, showing that there's some space between the neck and the hair. Right here, same kind of feeling. So let's add a little bit right here. Nice. Man, I am pretty happy with that. Now maybe the only thing, the way I defined the water's edge where the horse is coming out makes me feel like these ripples coming right off of it, really close to it, should also have a little bit more definition because it's a bit more of an acute disturbance of the water, where so many of the other ripples I've drawn are also part of just the waves and the general motion of the sea. Oh man, got ink on me. I'm so messy sometimes. Look at this. There's got ink all over my finger. Okay, I just don't want to get it on the page, so as long as I get it off of this side of my finger, it's okay. Alright. Yeah, that's good. Yes. Okay. Feeling pretty happy with that, so I'm going to cap my ink, swipe my pen, also try to clean my hand off a little bit more. I think actually, based on the time, it's a little tiny bit early to go on break. But if I take my break now and maybe take a little bit longer than usual, I can clean this ink off my hand, clean my pen, and get my scanner cleaned off because it's seriously covered in a pile of stuff, and so I'm not going to be able to scan this in. So I'm going to leave this here and turn on my... Oh wait, I'm not going to do it yet. I didn't write down the date on here. I want to clean my pen and then be like, no, I needed to write another thing. Okay, just write the date. How was I writing it? I think I was writing it as I normally do, which is day 1st, 22, August. Was I putting the year? Trying to look at my previous ones. Where did, oh, here it is, here it is. Yeah, I was putting the year. My handwriting is a little different when I'm using this dip pen. It's so interesting to me to see my own handwriting look different. Okay, now for real. I am, set this up all nice. Whee. And, in fact, I'll just put this like this. Let's see, I'll need this pen. Okay, I'm gonna go on a little bit early break, but also try to use the time to clean off my scanner and stuff. So I'll be back. I'll try to be back in 5 minutes, but we'll see, might be 5-10 minutes. So I hope everybody will take the opportunity to get up and stretch and give your eyes a break and all that good stuff too. I'm just gonna put my be right back up and be back ASAP. Hello everyone, I'm back. I hope you had a great break. I am almost ready to start scanning this image. I just need to move the image, and I also need my keyboard, which is right behind it. Oh, I'm gonna have to move this camera. Whoa. Stuff's trying to fly away. Whoop. Okay. I've got my scanner going, and I'm over here at my desktop, PC desktop workstation now. Let's see, move these cables out of the way. Okay, let me see. I gotta move my secondary monitor so I can see it properly. Okay. Okay, let's see. Turning on my desktop capture. There we go. Nice. Okay, I'm gonna set this sketchbook in my scanner. Close the lid and preview. Okay, so that looks good. We're just going to move this marquee to fit better and change the shape. There, that's good. And we can rotate now. It just saves a little time later from having to do it in Photoshop. And then scan. Always takes a little while because I scan at 600 dpi, which is double what you really need, but I always think about unknown future possibilities, and having the really high resolution scan means I could blow this up really huge if I wanted to for some reason. If somebody wanted like a 12-foot tall version of this, then this scan would be able to provide that, I think. So I think the true minimum for decent printing is more like 150. DPI means dots per inch, so printer dots per inch. Printed ink dots on the page per inch. And so I haven't done the math. Maybe 12 feet is too big, but considering 600 DPI is four times as big. So 4 times as big as the bare minimum for a decent print. Okay, so now I'm going to take my sketchbook out, turn my scanner off. Oh, and I'm going to mute my mic because I got a cough. Okay, I'm back. And now I'm going to open Photoshop. So cool, even when it's a little tiny icon like this, I feel like I get the sense of this. It looks almost like a photograph, like a black and white photograph from that point. Okay, so Lazy Nezumi, I can just minus that, I don't need that. And then now, oh, my PC's like, oh, we're getting to work now, my fans are revving up. Right click, open with Photoshop. Here we go. We don't need the camera raw for this, so I'm just going to open it. And now, first things first, let's save. Save as. And we're going to put it in a visual art folder, and we'll name it today's date. This is how I've organized my work for years. Is by the date. Year, month, day, and then in these folders, as you can see. And let's see, I'm trying to look what Okay, Maginaturalist. I was looking for these so that I could name it the same way. So Maginaturalist. Maginaturalist _3. And this is the Cabyll. I don't remember exactly how it's spelled because the encyclopedia spells it different than anybody online spells it. But since I'm using the encyclopedia as my main resource, I want to spell it that way. Uisge. There we go. So, save that. Hooray! Okay, so the next thing is make a new layer because I like to keep the original scan in case of whatever. I'm always thinking of in case of this, in case of some unknown thing. And now I will edit this background copy. The first thing I'll do is desaturate. That takes away the color data, so already those blue lines become less apparent and they become gray if they didn't disappear altogether. Now we'll go into levels, play with the levels, so there's dark tones, mid-tones, and light tones, basically. First we'll make the light tones really light, so we'll make the paper super white. Then we'll take the mid-tones down as well. In fact, I think we need to make white tones even whiter. Basically, we're trying to make those blue lines disappear. But the black is disappearing as well, so we're going to bring the black back by turning this way up. And it looks like it's still some blue. I might actually have to edit. I'm looking at this area along the edge. I might have to just clean that up by hand because I don't know why it's doing it on this one. It wasn't really a problem on the previous ones. Because basically I'm losing too much information, but maybe if I make the black super black, then I can take it away. Because what happens, I don't know if you're seeing this, on these lines down here in the corner, they're thicker because there's more, if you take the white back to what it originally was, they're thicker because there's more information there, including grays that make the line look thicker, but as you take those grays away, it looks thin and kind of rough, and so I'm trying to find a balance between that. I want the lines to be thicker, but I don't want it to be, so like this is too much. With all these squished together, it's all choppy and hard and looks pixelated. So I'm trying to find a middle. I don't mind a little bit of that choppiness, but I don't want it to be over the top. Never did put any white in this water horse's eye, but I kind of like it like this, even though I meant the white to be an indication that it was wet. But having just a black eye, or maybe a socket, you know, is kind of more creepy, which is, creature is definitely creepy. Creepy and scary. I guess something else for me to keep in mind is this is at 33%, so it might not be so rough looking. Let me actually go back out. Might not be so rough looking if we're at 100%. So let's try it here. Let's turn in the white and turn in the black. Yeah, it is just this choppy. Gotta find that middle ground. And I might just have to clean up, like right here. The line isn't quite disappearing on the edge. Of course I could just crop that out. I don't necessarily have, this is supposed to be the border anyway. You can just crop right inside of that, and then that saves me a bunch of work. But there's also some areas where I was sketching the horse here, like you can see these, but I think that that's the nice medium middle way. So like this is this is too much. I don't want to have to clean up all of this. Like here and here. I used to do that before I figured out how to do this. That's how I did it back in the day, ages ago. But yeah, I think this level will have to be our compromise. Turned up the black a little bit. That helped. I'm going to turn the black a little bit more and the white down a little bit. What's that? Because it's actually pretty rough on the paper right here. This isn't too far away from what it looks like natively. So yeah, let's do this. I want to look at the whole image. Yeah, a little bit of cleanup I think I'll do. But I do love this, has this, even though this is clearly just black on white here, but we've still got this nice organic texture around the edges of the lines. So let's look at that trouble area I was noticing down here. So I do have a little bit of a smudge here from yesterday. I don't even know when I did that. I didn't notice it yesterday. I noticed it today. Maybe this line will clean that up. But that line that was giving me trouble along here isn't too bad. There's still evidence of it here. But once again, I can just use this because this was meant to be the border anyway. I can just use this crop right inside. So yeah, I think that's good. So now we've got this edited. Next thing I want to do is cough, so I'm going to mute my mic. Excuse me. Also blew my nose as while I was at it. Two birds with one stone in a way. Okay, so there's various things that I've been editing in these pieces before they're ready to go. One of them is making these little bits of text more centered and even. As you can see here, this one at the top is a little bit off center to the left. Same thing here with the stuff at the bottom, but also there's not as much space between the location and the date and the time of day. So I want to sort of edit those. And it's pretty easy because you can just use this little square marquee and then use the move tool. And what it will do is cut this whole thing, and I'll have to put white in behind it, but I'm hoping, let's see, you know what I need to do? I need, my rulers are gone. View, rulers. Okay, if the rulers are available, then I can grab from them and create a, what I want is, it's not snapping. Okay, gotta turn snapping on. Or maybe what I should do is, thinking about what I should do. This image is not the exact size that I intend this final one to be. Then again, I have been drawing outside of it. The drawing itself is 4 by 6 inches. But with this text on the top and bottom, makes it a little bigger. It is meant to be a sketchbook piece too, so it's not supposed to be absolutely perfect. I'm thinking about the distance between generally the end of the drawing on the left-hand side and then the end of the actual digital image on the left-hand side, and then that same space on the right-hand side. It actually looks pretty even. Maybe the left is a little bit bigger. I know what can help me. I'm going to Open up my favorite tutorial. Let's see, where is it? Extracting scanned art. Extracting scanned line art for digital coloring. I'll show you it over here. This. I always use this all the time. Credit where credit's due. I'm going to post it in the chat so it'll show up there too. Boom! I use this all the time, literally all the time. It's so good. So I just scroll down to the version for Photoshop because this has Photoshop and Clip Studio Paint and Paint Tool Sci. So what I want to do is extract the black lines so that instead of being black on white, it's black on empty pixels. And then that'll make it easier to center this, because I can then just literally center these black lines. So the first thing you need to do is select all. Select all, cut, then create a new channel. Boom. Then paste. Okay, done. Next, selection, load selection. So select, load selection. And here, you want to make sure it's alpha 1, and you want to make sure it's clicked as invert. Click OK. There, and as you can see, it has selected all the lines. Then next, and I always have to follow this tutorial. For some reason, I can never remember how to do it. New layer. Boop. And so edit, fill. And what you want to do is contents black. Mode normal opacity 100 and keep this unchecked, so no preserve transparency. Click OK, and there you go. Deselect, and you can see what I meant. It's no longer black on white, it's black on empty pixels. So that means we can Control A to select all, and then when you're on the Move tool, these lovely buttons pop up. And it says align horizontal centers. Ah, and it was, as I thought, it was a little bit too far to the right, and it moved it to the left. So then we can deselect. And we can do the same thing now with this text at the top. Just using the rectangle marquee, and then go back to the Move tool and center it. Oh, it didn't do it. Why? Why didn't it do it the way that it normally would? That's super weird. It should normally only move what's inside of here. So that's weird. Why didn't it work the way it usually does? The heck? That's super weird. Okay, so maybe I'll just cut it. Control X, Control V. And the problem is it doesn't put it back where I wanted it up here. Oh, wait, I know. Hold on. Instead of Control V, we're going to do Paste Special. And there it pastes it exactly where it was. Now, Control All. And there it will only center down. Normally it would only center what was in that marquee though, so I don't know why it didn't work that way this time. It's super weird. Alright, anyway. So I think I might actually clean up some of these lines down here because these ones are sticking way the heck out. I don't mind it being an uneven edge here, but these ones are way, way out. This one also, this is just a smudge here. But first, let's continue cleaning up this text. Well, not cleaning up, tidying up. Yeah. Organizing. Now, is it going to do this again? Is it going to move the whole thing instead? Okay, so now this is doing what I wanted, which is moving only that which I selected. Okay, so deselect. So let's do the same thing with the Irish C. My handwriting was pretty bad on this one, but I think it's fine because the Maginaturalist was at C, so it's probably hard to write straight. It's so great when my personal issues actually work out great for the narrative of the illustration. So I think I was having a hard time writing yesterday, actually, and I think it's just because I'm so out of practice from being away from any kind of writing. I wasn't even able to journal. So, yeah, that was a surprise. When yesterday I was like, why is this such a struggle? Okay, so we're going to do the same thing here. I'm worried that it's not going to do what I want, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut. No, X to cut, and then we're going to paste special. And now Control All on that layer, and then center. And then deselect. So we can now merge these layers so that they're all together. I wish it wouldn't do this. Why? How can I turn this off? Photoshop just turns stuff on and off at its whims, I guess. I hate this little... I don't need this. How do I turn that off? Why would it turn that back on? I'm always having to turn stuff off. Hold on. I'm going to look up how to do it. Photoshop, stop changing my settings without my permission. Okay. Layer being highlighted in blue on Photoshop. What is this? CC, Creative Cloud. You will see... look under hover layer bounds. How do I just turn it off? Whoa. Tools settings near the top of the window. Click the gear. What? It's off. Oh, show hover bounds from layers. Duh, I don't want that. Gosh. It's like it added another one. So the setting I had turned off was turned off. Okay. Ah, good. I don't need these distracting millions of lines popping up. It is so hard for me to concentrate. I have enough lines going on here, you know. Whew. Alright. I feel so much better. Next I want to create a white background layer, because this is quite hard to see on that checkerboard. I appreciate the checkerboard because then that lets me know, oh, there's nothing behind there. But now I want that to be black and white. Hooray! So I think what I'll do, it would be so easy to just create a rectangle marquee and then erase, just like delete all. But I don't want it to look digitally trimmed. So I think what I'll do is, yes, I will make a marquee, but I will still hand erase. So that maybe I'll leave a little bit sticking out here and there. You know, I'll leave this one, you know. Maybe this one stays too. Like here, we'll erase those shorter. This one I'll just clean up because it's a smudge. Leave that one. So, I've selected, but right now it's selected this inside part. So I'm going to go to select an inverse, and now it's selecting the outside part where I want to erase. Okay, so, yeah, this is small enough. I'll just leave that. And these ones are right up to the edge. They're fine. Here is where I want to clean up a little bit. Whoa, that's huge. That is a huge brush. Let's make it a little smaller. Oh no, I'm on the white layer. Okay, there we go. Hardness is at max, okay. Size. Okay, that should be good. There, that's so much better. Just reining it in a little bit. Oh yeah, this one I also wanted to... I think I'm going to have to come back to this one. I want to make it a little rounder, but if I erase more, it's just going to race up to the marquee and be a really straight, flat line. I think on this side I don't need the marquee either, because the only place I really wanted to fix is this, and that's really obvious. So I'm going to deselect and zoom in really close. And for this, I'm going to pull down my monitor. I have a Cintiq tablet monitor where the screen itself is the tablet. So I pull that into my lap, and now using my stylus to clean this line up. And let's pull this in a little bit too. And this is that line I wanted to round. Nice. Okay, we can zoom out a bit. Hold on, gotta mute. Okay, back from my little coughing session. Now I just want to clean up little specks. Here's a little extra line I don't need. Just little specks. I keep some. Doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, I'm going to zoom out to 200%. So I'm not getting too into it. There was an interesting tip given by one of the professional children's book illustrators at the SCBWI conference that I attended a few weeks ago, virtual conference. She said, never zoom in to more than 1 inch. And I think what she meant was, so right now I have this in pixels, but if this was in inches. So I'm obviously not following her advice, because her advice was basically, so here's an inch, 5 to 6. She said don't zoom in to more than an inch. So even my 100% is more than an inch, like a real world inch. If I were to hold a ruler up to my screen, I think a real world inch would probably be from here to here, just eyeballing it. But this is a result of me scanning in 600 dpi, so like I said, it's twice as much as what you need. Anyway, that was her advice, is when you're working in digital. Well, she had other advice too, like she said never use layers, and I was like, But the inch thing was nice because it made me feel like I had permission to not. When you're working with digital, it feels like, well, you have this capability, so you should use it. And her advice made me feel like, oh, you don't have to. Actually, it could make it worse if you mess with it too much at a really tiny level. So, with that in mind, I am trying not to zoom in so close all the time. Sort of wean myself off of it a bit. Yeah, never use layers, right? What's the point? What's the point of digital? I know it's different for everyone. I'm not judging at all. I think that, I mean, she's a published, and she wasn't just published, she had like hundreds of books to her name, so like she knows what she's talking about for illustration, but it doesn't really work for me, because for me with digital, either I'm using it for stuff like this, where I mostly want to enhance what I already have done with physical media, or I want to use digital to make it look digital. I want it to look like it was done with. I don't want it to look like traditional media. If I want it to look like traditional media, I will use traditional media. Her advice was coming from a place of, I believe that she felt digital media should disappear into the style of the piece, and it should just look like traditional media. Digital media should just be an easy way to create traditional looking pieces, or something like that. She was very keen on creating work that looked like it was using real world textures and was made on paper and stuff like that. And that's fine, but for me, I want digital pieces to look digital. I am not afraid of that look. In fact, I like it. Oh, and if you're hearing any snoring, that's Aoife. She's right below the microphone under the table. So yeah, some of the advice I was like, well, that's alright for some people. That's not for me. I like it looking digital. Like with my onomatopoeia animal pieces, I specifically want that really bright, vibrant, and sharp, like you just cannot get it with traditional media look. Otherwise, what's the point? What's the point of using digital if you could just do it with physical media anyway? But anyway, she did have advice that was still applicable to what I do, because I do get so sucked in, almost literally, as you're zooming in, you feel like you're getting sucked into the piece, trying to perfect every single pixel. And so that was kind of freeing to have someone say, do not zoom in. So I'm still gonna zoom in. Like I said on the Discord today, editing is my favorite part of writing, and it's kind of the same way with illustration too. Once you get that initial stuff down, working with it to sort of enhance it and get those little details in, that's the funnest part to me. And digital work, the way I do it, that's like the ultimate version of that. So anyway, I'm just trying not to zoom in quite so much. I've said all of that, but I still think that I do take it a little too far sometimes. Just because it takes me so long. The reason why I think I take it too far is that it takes longer for me to finish a digital piece, because I get sucked into zoom in and make every single individual pixel perfect. So I am working on a new style of digital work where I'm a little less, what's the word? Obsessed? A little less trapped? Hard to say. Anyway, that whole spiel was just because I realized I was super zoomed in, and when I saw how small this red box here was in the navigator, I was like, this is gonna take forever. So that's why I zoomed out to 200% instead of 300%. If you're hearing some scraping noise, it's because Aoife is now not only snoring, she's having a little dream, and her feet are flopping around. I think she must be running the way her feet are moving. Okay, so I've cleaned up those little extras, spare pixels I was seeing. I also cleaned up, I think it was right here. There was one line that was going over this one, which doesn't make sense because this part of the hair is over this part of the hair. Oh, here's another little example of that. Just trying to smooth out some areas like that as well, but the next big thing I want to work on, what I was saying earlier, increasing the size of this halo that I've left around the water horse so that this creature can stand out more overall in this image. Even right here, you can see I actually ended up touching the ink to our main character here, even though I didn't want to do that. And this is why I like being able to do digital cleanup. So then when I do end up doing something that I was specifically trying not to, it's not the end of the world. I can just forget it for that moment, and because I know I'll be able to change it to be how I want later. So instead of being like, oh no, what do? I ruined it, I'm gonna have to start over, or something like that. No problem. I always finish with digital media, and it's never any worry, and I can just continue on. Keep creating. I'm trying to make all of these lines as I erase them continue to have this nice round shape. Because the pen obviously leaves a round shape there when the lines are finished. Doing my best to imitate that as I erase. Just helps with cohesiveness in the drawing. So it's not like I want to hide the fact that I've used digital media on it, but this is not a piece where the digital work is meant to have any presence. So that's why I'm trying to erase in a way that matches the media that already exists in the image. Just a few more. Oh yeah, it's really close up here by this ear here. So I'm going to pull this back. And right here it's actually touching the ear. So as you can see, as I erase along here, some of these lines just sort of cut off hard. And I don't want that, so I'm going to create nice round shapes. I also want to make them a little varied if I can. So maybe one is a little more round than another. Some might be more triangular or something like that, a little more pointy. Just to help with that organic look. Fit in with the lines that I'm not changing. Here's another one that touched directly. Yeah, right here. A little too much ink here. I think I'll just erase that whole thing right there. Alright, here it's touching again. It's touching the forelocks of the mane. Oh, have a great trip home. Yay! Looking forward to see you on Friday. Hooray! Thank you for joining me today. Bye! Maybe with my cursor. Bye! Oh, also thank you for donating. Don't want to keep you too long, so Just leave it at that. Something I'm going to need to do, I think, is make sure that this halo I've created looks even as we go all the way around the water horse. It doesn't have to be perfectly even, because again, that will take away from the organic look that I want, the sketchbook feeling. But if there's any areas where over the course of erasing I sort of started erasing farther and farther away or something like that, I want to catch that and make it a little more even than that. So I think I've gone all the way around. Let's zoom out and see what that looks like overall. I guess what's tough, so this is 100%. Let's zoom out a lot farther. So this is about the size that I actually drew it. That looks way better though when I'm looking at this area. The top of the head where it's overlapping the cliffs stands out way better. I was thinking about whether that is enough or if I should erase a little bit more. Let's zoom out a lot farther. This is another thing that's great about digital. With physical media, to do this, you have to be able to just set your piece up and walk away from it as far as you can. With digital media, you just zoom out like crazy. So this is about the size of a postage stamp. And that's pretty good. It's standing out fairly well. Still is getting a bit lost, so I think I will erase a little bit farther, just here where the ears are. I do want to zoom in 200%. Okay, let's just erase a bit farther. Create a little more space. In fact, I'll just go like this, and then I will erase these circles. Circle roundy tips. Same thing. Just erase straight down and then round. I'm going to zoom out real quick and see what the effect is before I continue and do the same. I do think that is having an excellent effect. I feel like at this size I can see this other ear more clearly because there's more space for the outline, the black outline, to have an effect instead of getting lost in the hatch lines that are next to it. So I will continue doing this for the rest of the top of the head. 200%. 200% zoom. So we'll just continue as I've been doing, erasing. And then rounding the ends of the lines. And trying to make them look organic. And moving up, so erase here. Almost there. This is a little bit bigger than the native drawings size. Realize I want to bring this word a little bit closer over to this one. There's this dash here, but then there's like a space. But that's not what I'm trying to look at right now. I want to look at how is the effect of having that greater amount of halo. So here we're back to postage stamp size. I do think it is much more effective now. Okay, sweet. I'm gonna push this monitor back up. Oops, move my keyboard back. Now, let me change that word. Just like I said, it's a little too much of a space in between here. So, what is this? Oh, what did I do? Where am I? Oh no, I did something weird. Oh, where am I? Why? I can't control Z out of here. Oh, I can undo. Oh, what if I hit cancel? Oh, okay. I don't know what the heck was going on. Why is this stuck here? That's weird. My navigator is struggling here. Oh, there we go. Just move it a little bit. It wakes up. There we go. I was just trying to figure out why the heck was it not working earlier. Maybe it'll work now. It's supposed to when I select something using this and then go to the move tool. There we go. Okay, it's working now. That's good. Deselect. Now let's see if... So maybe if I move it a little bit like this first. There. Now if I do this. Nope, it moves the whole thing. Why does it do that? It's not on. It's like there's something different about this tool. It's moving the entire layer instead of just centering my selection, which is what it used to do. But this says align horizontal centers, but it should only affect that which is selected, not the entire piece. Align to selection. Ah, why would they do that? I have never been in this menu before, so I know that I did not change this. I think that this is it. It was set to align to selection, so it's aligning the rest of the image to this instead of canvas. Let's see if this is going to do it. Nope, it's moving the whole image. Why is it doing that? Okay, hold on. Another mystery to solve. Why does this happen? Photoshop just changes stuff. They just change stuff and they don't really tell you about it. They're happy to tell you about their new AI generative filters and all this other stuff, but they make little basic changes like this that just make it impossible, completely interrupt your workflow. So frustrating, and it's always been like this. Okay, so what do I search? Align horizontal centers is moving entire image. Maybe if I put move tool. Auto select, that's already turned off. Instead of selection. Well, this one's from a year ago. This isn't exactly the problem. Their problem is, so I use the select tool, make my selection. However, when I try to move it using the move tool, the whole layer / image moves instead of the small area I have selected, strangely. So that's sort of what's going on, only with us, it's working if I use the arrow keys. See, it's moving it if I use the arrow keys. Or I'll bet you, yeah, if I move it with the mouse. But the align horizontal centers tool is not working the way it used to. Mystery. So let's see. Smart object. No, that's definitely not what's going on here. I wish I could... How do I turn off these? Whatever. I'm not gonna worry about that. That's another problem for another time. Yeah, this is not... Creating a select marquee. Oh, this is 2019 though. This is way too old. I need something recent. Maybe if I put this tool name in quotes. So the tool name is Align Horizontal Centers. Put that in quotes so that hopefully that would come up. It's 2013. It's too old. Oh, this is so frustrating. It's not... It's not coming up with anything. Why? That's so weird. Alright, I can't figure it out, so I won't waste any more time on that. I'm just going to have to do that roundabout thing that I was doing, which is take the selection, cut, and then paste special, which will put that data onto a new layer. And then we can Control All and use this button to center just that data, which is just so frustrating. I don't know why I have to do all this extra stuff, and now you can Control E to bring that layer back down. I'm gonna have to figure that out. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous that I have to do that. Okay. Anyway, that's done. Let's save. I haven't saved all this time. Alright, what's next? This might actually be a good point. It's a couple minutes early, but I took my other break really early, so I think I shall go on break for a little bit. And then I can come back with a refreshed mind, refreshed eyes, and see what I want to do next for this. So I'm going to put on my Be Right Back screen, mute my mic. I hope everybody else will also take the opportunity to take a little break. See you in 5. Hello everyone, I'm back! I hope you had a great break. It's time for the last hour of this stream. And we're so close to done on this image, I actually feel like. This is good. This is finished. Maybe the only thing I'm seeing now is the writing for Irish Sea. Might be able to move upwards a little bit, but let's see. We'll just see if it's hanging. It's not any farther down than the G from Nightfall, so I think I'll just leave it. That's another thing I like to use these little lines for. Oh, what are these called? Guides. Just to test his stuff even. So, let's see. I think overall, the image could be centered more. Because when I'm looking at the space between the top of the writing at the top of the image and then the very top edge of the image, it seems a way smaller space than, say, from the bottom of the G in Nightfall to the bottom edge of the image. And this should be easy. I should just be able to go like this. Yeah. Man, maybe what they did, because it used to be in order to do that, and going back to the mystery of why this center, align horizontal centers and vertical centers is not working the way it used to, this is also not how it used to work. It used to be that you had to select all, and then you could use this, but these are available even when it's not selected, so maybe that's has to do with it. I don't like that, though. I want it to I want it to work the way that it used to. Transform. It's none of those. I'm gonna have to figure it out later, though. I don't want to spend my whole stream figuring out crazy changes that Photoshop makes and doesn't tell you about. So, let's save. So now we've centered this, as you can see. This space at the top looks the same as this space at the bottom. So now I guess what I'll do is put this into, well, I'll save it. So I guess you're going to see my little, what's the term for this? This is the, not administrative work. This is the less creative part of illustration. This is more technical stuff. So I'm going to save multiple copies of this. First, I'll just save a copy at the native size. I like to have that kind of copy in a JPEG in case I want to print it. So it'll just be just like that. Boom. Then I also want to save a copy specifically for sharing online. So for that, I like to put my, oh, what do I call it? Let's see. It's a custom image. I think I call it my seal. Yeah, Studio Mikarts seal. I like to put the seal on. That way, if someone comes across this image not on one of my pages, you know, not on one of my social media or DeviantArt or whatever, that will have this seal on it so they can figure out where it came from and come find me. Okay, so I want to fill with black. And then I do want to add a stroke. I want it to be in white. So I want this to stand out a little bit from the lines that it's overlaying. And did it remember my settings? Nope, it has forgotten these settings as well. What the heck, Photoshop? So I make everything round and on the outside. And then probably 10 pixels. Let's see what that looks like for the thickness of the line. There, you can see that it's just creating a little bit of space. I think we need a little bit more space though. So let's see what 20 is like. Yeah, that's better. So just a little bit of space so that it's easy to read. And I'm just putting it in the corner over here. I don't want it to be in anyone's face, but I do want it to be obvious, like I said, so that someone could find me if they like this image and they want one like it, or they want to print, or maybe they want to hire me to do their book or something. That would be awesome. So anyway, now I've got this. That's not the only thing I do though for my web version of images. For something this big, I gotta check, but I think I've been saving it at 1,000 pixels on the longest side. It might be 2,000 though, so I'm gonna check the previous one to see what I saved those as. So Baba Yaga, yeah, I did 1,000 pixels. So 1,000 pixels wide. So we're gonna go to image size, and on the longest side, so that's the height, we're just gonna do 1,000, hit enter. And then that looks super small, but then remember, we're at 33%, so if we go up to 100%, this is actually very close, if not, at least to my eyes, what I'm seeing on my monitor. This is the size that it was originally drawn at. That's 100%, so that's perfect. So go over here, save a copy, save as a JPEG. And then for these ones, I do _for_web so that I know it has that little seal on it. So this will be the image that I share on DeviantArt or on any of my social media or whatever that might want, wherever I might want to put it. Okay, but I don't want it to end up saving like this permanently on the Photoshop document. So I always go back immediately, take this step away in the history, go back one step in the history, and then save. I don't mind having this layer on here, that's fine. Just keep that there. But now I have the image saved as a JPEG at native size with no seal on it, and then I have the version with the seal and at a smaller shareable size. And it's been saved, so it's all good. So what else? What else do I do? I also would like this to become the next Patreon reward. So since I've got the time, there's be a little sneak peek behind the scenes of how that works. How I make the Patreon rewards, at least for the digital file. I won't print them right now because you won't be able to see anything. You'll just hear a printer going, and it's actually pretty boring. So what I have is, oh, I went too far back. Products, postcards, and then I'm going to open one that I already have used. So this is the last one I did. And then save it immediately as a different file so that I don't save over what already existed. But then this way I don't have to type a bunch of stuff, I just edit. So instead of 07, it's 08. Maginaturalist Sketchbook instead of Baba Yaga, it is, oh, how do you spell this? Well, it was spelled Cabyll-Uisge. Yes, that was how. There. So now save this. There we go. Okay. Now first thing I'm going to do is turn the image just so that it's easier for me to understand. Because it will be a postcard, so the back is going to be horizontal no matter what. But the front makes it easier for me if I can do it like this. So we're going to turn off the seal. And what do I want to do? I think for a second I'm going to merge these, just so I can drag it over here as a single layer. Oops, I want this in the front folder. Alright, so that's there. So we can undo what we just did. Leave this like this. And now we can delete the Baba Yaga layer because, mouse was stuck. So we don't need that. This is not the Baba Yaga file anymore. And let's Control T to transform this. What in the heck is this? Oh man, this is another thing that's different. I don't know what this crosshair bit is about. What in the heck? This is totally different from my experience with Control T. I don't know what's going on. Photoshop interrupting my workflow again. What in the heck is this? Oh, what? It opens Zoom? I am super confused. What? Is Control T not? Hold on. I've got to figure this out. I don't know what the heck is going on. Where are my shortcuts? Keyboard shortcuts. Is Control T no longer transform? Well, I don't want to spend free transform. It should be. It says right here, Control T, free transform. The heck? There's a little info button here. Why does it have info? Or do they all? No? Why did that one have? Oh, the info went away. What the heck? Why? Okay, so it should be... Or is there something else, like Windows, using Control T and it's getting confused? Yeah, here it is. What is this crosshair thing? Capture. I think some other program is taking over the Control T shortcut, and it thinks I want to take a screenshot. Oh, man. This is why digital work takes me more longer than physical media work. What the heck is this? And then it opens Zoom. Maddening. What? Is it Zoom? Is Zoom doing something? Is that why it's... I don't care about this. Where are the settings in Zoom? Okay, hold on. I'm just going to minus this. This is a crazy mystery. Okay, I've got to figure this out. Because I can't... Well, I can, but... my workflow is being interrupted. Okay, so let's see. Control plus T. Taking screenshot. This is 4 years ago, though. Why would this only just now... Oh, here we go. August 6, 2024. Control plus T opening weird screen capture software. Show you what I'm looking at. Oh, I want to show you, but... here it is. I don't know what's on this page, so I'm not going to put it on the stream in case there's something weird, but why would you move Photoshop over here? Windows, you are mind-blowing sometimes, not a good way. Put this back here. Okay, I'm going to click on this. This is from answers.microsoft.com. This makes it sound like it's a Windows problem. So this person says, pretty annoying issue where Control T just opens a random screen capture software. That is exactly what's happening to me. That means I can't open a new browser tab with any browser, which I want to get fixed ASAP. So they're having a different problem. Control T is supposed to be doing something else for them. How do I uninstall / disable screen capture software or fix? It is Zoom. This answer says, the shortcut tool displayed when you press Control T on your browser is related to the Zoom application. What the heck, Zoom? Okay, used for video calls. This tool is used to download, send images in the Zoom chat. I don't even have Zoom on. It opens after the fact. Okay, open it, select profile picture, set it. Awesome. This has instructions for how to do this. Okay. Well, I don't know what kind of information is in here. I don't know if there's like private information in my profile that I don't want seen, so I'm moving this off of my stream, but okay, so you're supposed to click the profile picture and then settings. It opens the settings over here anyway. It doesn't respect where I put the window. Okay. In keyboard shortcuts window. Yes. I think I'm going to turn all keyboard. I don't want any keyboard shortcuts for Zoom. I'm going to turn them all off. I don't care what they are. That way I don't even have to look. Yeah. Control T. What? That's crazy. That means Zoom is running in the background even though the application is supposed to be turned off. Maddening. Ooh. Don't like that. I don't like that that happened. The fact that Zoom kept opening, though, was a big hint. Okay, so there's no save setting, so hopefully it just auto-saves. Okay, closed Zoom. Let's see if that fixed it. It will be great if at least one of these mystery issues that I have encountered today is resolved. So let's try. Control T. Oh, thank God. Wow. Okay. We did it! Celebration! Whee! Okay, back to what I was trying to... Oh, look at this interesting... Wait, is this in the original? Oh no! I can't have this! It is! Oh no! Oh, it's because it's acting weird. Okay, hold on. We gotta fix this. Oh, how am I going to fix it? I'm going to have to go way back in my history. See if I can. I turned history on to like 50 items or something, so. Why? Why is it... Why did it do this? It didn't do it any other time. So you can see I moved these words earlier and it didn't happen. What the heck? What? Okay. But, yeah, it's like it didn't select everything when I created a new layer. This has never been a problem before. There's so many things that I can't do as I usually do. Because it just made changes. Like normally when it selects all the pixels, even if they're only partially filled, but whatever happened here, it selected so close that it left some pixels. So what I'm going to do is not cut from there. So definitely all the pixels are selected at this time. Now we're gonna Control X, edit, paste in place, then use this to center. And now is this? I don't know if that's centered anymore either. So let's Control E to group these down and use the vertical. This one's vertical, right? Yeah, vertical one. Yeah, so even that was lost. So now it's vertically centered as well. The entire image is vertically centered. And well, let's center this. Yeah, this changed too. So now the whole thing is all nice and centered in here. So we're gonna save them all over again. This always happens to me. Little stuff like that. And I don't catch it until later. Okay, so it looks clean now. You can see the difference here. Yeah, that would have been horrible to send out as Patreon rewards. I would not want to send that. That is not the caliber of quality that I pride myself on. Okay. So let's save this just as the Photoshop file. We're going to go in here, save a copy. We want it to be a JPEG. And since there's already one there, I can just select it. Oh yeah, I forgot. I need this ICC profile. It doesn't matter that much for black and white image, but I need... This is one of those things that changed. It didn't used to uncheck this box when you saved as a JPEG or a PNG, but now randomly, for some reason, it will be unchecked, or it might not be unchecked. Anyway, Photoshop has been making a lot of random changes and not telling you about it, and it's super frustrating. Okay, so we're just overwriting that other file. So now we've got to make this seal again, which is fine. It's not that big of a deal. I just hold shift as I make that so it makes it nice and square. It does seem to remember that I want my fill to be black and my stroke to be white. And it does still remember outside and roundy, so that's good. Oh, right, but these needed to be 20 pixels. So now we've got that seal on there, and now I just want to position. Oh, it's doing that same thing. Why is it doing that? I want you to move this. There. Okay. I just want to move it so that it's in a nice placement. Considering these lines around here, I don't want too many like little random dots. So like here, there's just this little dot right there. It's kind of distracting. So we're going to move this down. Cover it up. Actually, wonder if it might be better if I just go ahead and... I can't get the positioning right. I was satisfied with it before, but what if I just make it 30? Yeah, I think that's better. Yeah, let's just go with that. Yeah, I can't get away from there's this little dot right in the middle. Can't seem to get away from it. What if I do 25? It was so straightforward last time, and now struggling. Alright, there we go. That's good. I just accept this little dot right here. That's fine. Okay, so I'm gonna go to image size again. Longest side, 1000 pixels. It looks so nice, if I do say so myself. Okay, save a copy. And we're gonna do a JPEG, and we're saving over the 4Web one. Yes. There. Then we Control Z because we want to take away that sizing down to that super small size, and then Control S to save. Now, let's do this again. Control E to group the layers, well, to smush them down onto each other, and we're putting this back on here, but we're going to Control Z to undo that because I want to keep those separate in case, who knows what I might want to do later. So we can delete this older one because it had those messed up letters. But these letters are not messed up. They are nice and pretty. So now Control T. Zoom is not taking over my... That meant that Zoom was watching the whole time, even though I wasn't on a Zoom call. That's actually kind of disturbing. I don't like that. But it was watching, waiting for me to do a keystroke, even though it wasn't on a call. No likey. Me no likey. Okay, so what I'm doing here is sizing it so that it fits. This is actually a white, this layer here you see is named white border. Actually is a white layer just on this outside part. Where you see these guidelines, that's showing where the white is. And that's because when I print, having that little bit of extra space just helps the print look nicer, because sometimes if it has to print all the way to the edge, you'll get little smudges on the edge and stuff like that, or I don't know, little lines and everything. I have found that it just prints better if you give that little bit of space. So now I am just trying to center it, but I think I could make it a little bit bigger. So I'm going to Control Z. Is my Control Z not working, or okay? There's just too many. So transform again. I made it a little bit too small. There's a little bit more wiggle room. So I want it to be as close to original size as possible. But it's going to be slightly smaller than original size because the drawing part is 4x6 and this postcard is 4x6. So, and then plus there's this white border. So I have to account for that and make it a little bit smaller. So in order to include these text and stuff, it's got to be shrunk down a bit. But I do want it to really be right on the edge. I don't want to have any extra white space that I don't need for practical reasons. So that looks really good because the G is right here on this edge. The C is got this teeny tiny bit of space. So I'm going to double click so that applies, and then let's center it. There. So nothing is being cut off by this white border, but it is sitting right up next to it. So this is as big as it can be while still including all of the information. So let's save this. Yay. So for the back, turn off the, I have everything in folders, so it's really easy to make each postcard for my Patreon. So the back, so we can turn this image back over to, let's see, counterclockwise. And I just edit this, the text tool. So instead of Baba Yaga, okay, how do we spell Cabyll-Uisge? Yeah. I'm getting good at spelling this. And I'm getting pretty good at pronouncing it. I have to think about it. I have to visualize the notes I took yesterday on the pronunciation. I have to literally see it in my head and read the notes again. But it's working. Cabyll-Uisge. So let's save. Yay! So that is the postcard ready to go, which is great because that means next week this will be a huge help. All I'll have to do is print, and as you can see I have writing where I write my handwritten message for well, all my patrons actually, but my postcard or pen pal tier patrons get the handwritten message on the postcard right here. And then, of course, their address goes here. For my writer patrons who get 3 blank postcards, I print the same message out, but it's just on a separate piece of paper. Because it seems sad not to send them also a message of greeting and gratitude. So let's save this, make sure it's saved. And this is done. Did I save this before the last thing I did? Yes, nudge and then save. Oh. Well, this project is done. We have 30 minutes left. I'm kind of thinking I want to figure out what's going on. Maybe if I just, I'm going to Google real quick. 2024 changes to the Move tool in Photoshop CC, Creative Cloud. Move tool not working in April 2024. Let's see what this post says. Move tool does not work properly. I want it to move objects without using transform. Turn to auto select on and off. Blah, blah, blah. Doesn't do it. To use move function, I have to use transform. I also want to not use shift to proportionally transform like it was in 2023 when it was defaulted to transform proportionally. What do I need to do? There's not really any good answer. This person keeps adding more issues they're having, and then they say, at this point, I'm starting to feel rage and manifesting an alternative on the market for all Adobe stuff. Oh man, I feel you, person. They had one answer. This person suggested resetting Photoshop preferences, but the original poster says that changed so that they were able to do proportional transform without using shift, but nothing else was changed and no one else has replied. There's another one, Photoshop 2024 move tool problem on Reddit. See what this person says. When you have a layer selected in Layers panel and have the Move tool selected, it automatically shows the handles that come up when you choose Edit Transform. How do you turn this off? I won't read their exact wording here, but they figured it out and they said how freaking annoying that they have this feature turned on automatically. I totally agree. It is so frustrating that they keep turning on random features and options without telling you about it, and then it's maddening trying to figure out what's going on. This is not the problem that I was having, though. These people are saying it's hidden behind this wheel here, but I'm not seeing my issue. So show transform controls. I definitely don't want that, and that's turned on. Show layer bounds on hover. Show hover bounds on layers. I turned this one off today, but expand layer group on click I don't think is... Expand layer groups in the layers panels when selecting the layer on the canvas. Yeah, that's not really the issue I'm having. I have this aligned to canvas, but it's auto select layer, auto select, but I don't want auto select. What if it's in here? Reset tool, and then it'll reset all that other stuff. Reset all tools. Crop and marquee. What's that? Oh, replace current tool presets with the tool presets from crop and... No, because I don't know what that'll do. Dang, this is not the issue I'm having. Move tool moves wrong layer. This is 2012. This is way too old. Yeah, this is that auto select box right here. (2018) This is 7 years ago, though. Huh. I can't find it. I don't know why no one's talking about it. Maybe if I just go in the Photoshop Reddit and see if there's anything new in here. It's mostly people just... Well, maybe I can search. Move tool. Can't interact with canvas. 6 days ago. Nope. Selection, move tool settings. Nope, this is that auto select thing again. Ooh, maybe if I search in Photoshop Reddit for this specific thing. What is it called? Horizontal. I forgot what it's called. It's called like Align Horizontal Canvas. Align Horizontal Centers. You never realize how much you use something until it stops working the way you expect. Oh, this is a year ago, but it says align layers horizontally not working. This doesn't seem quite what I'm looking for. They're trying to distribute things horizontally, evenly across the canvas. This is a year ago, and somebody says exactly what I've been doing. Says I always Control A and then align horizontal centers and align vertical centers. But they are answering someone else's question about how to do that, not my question about why can't I do it anymore. I wonder if my Photoshop is just messed up. Nobody is talking about this. Okay, I'm going to search. 2024 Photoshop CC, Control plus A, Move Tool. And what is this called again? Center. I can't remember the exact. Align horizontal centers. Align horizontal centers. Not working. That's 2020. It's 4 years ago. I think I'm gonna have to put something on the Adobe Help Center because it's just not working. And nobody's talking about having this issue. Well, I think I'll call that search good because I'm not finding an answer, and like that one poster, I'm getting pretty frustrated about that. So let's stop there and not get too worked up about it. Maybe I'll think of another way to describe the problem later too. Man, it's getting pretty warm in my room in here too. I don't know if it's just because I've been streaming all this time, because I'm getting frustrated at Adobe Photoshop. I'm trying to think of what else can I do here, because I do have my Summer Griffin illustration to work on, but getting everything out and ready to work on it will take up the rest of the time. I know. Let's just do a little teeny tiny bit of work on, I wonder if it's under my recent. Yeah. Let's work on this a little bit. I'm going to work on it some more tomorrow. So let's just get a head start since we've got 15 minutes left in this stream. This is my next subscriber badge for Twitch because, or well, not because, but the idea is I'm making all my favorite ingredients into subscriber badges, and then the more subscribers I get, the more different ingredients will show up in the chat as people chat, and then we'll be having a different recipe happening in the chat at any given time. That's the idea. So this is a baby bok choy. And I think I was just working on this third color of green. The main color. Hold on, I got a cough again. Excuse me. So this main color of super, super light green. Then we've got this transition color, which it looks like was the last thing I was working on, rounding these edges. So I haven't done that up here yet. And then the leaf color up top, which it looks like I have done some rounding. So let's go into, zoom in here. But let's not zoom in too much, just like we learned from that one illustrator. I can't remember her name, but she's like prolific. As you can see, 200% is still way more than an inch. An inch in real will probably be this, so I think I'm 4 times as big as she recommends zooming in, but too bad. I'm just using her advice to calm myself down when I feel like zooming into 1500%, which I have done before. I've zoomed into a crazy, crazy close amount. Oh, that's not good. Oh, there we go. And it's so nice. I've got this reference right here, so you can see. Basically, I was protecting the face, so I didn't want these lines going through the face. So it's actually quite like what I did on the water horse earlier today. You erase away and then round the lines. And here, rounding the lines isn't as much about matching an existing aesthetic from the physical media, which is the black lines here were physical media to start with. Here, instead, it's about telling the story most effectively, because if we leave this really sharp edge here, the viewer starts thinking about that. But all I want the viewer to think about is, how cute is this baby bok choy? That's all I want anyone to think about. So, by making all of these lines round, that adds to the cuteness and also just makes it seem more natural that this middle green color just kind of ends towards the face, instead of I don't want to tell the story of me trying to let the face be more visible, if that makes any sense. The story is about this baby bok choy, not about the artist that drew it in this illustration. So that's pretty good. Yeah! I think maybe, as I'm looking at this, it's only really one that has this really light green color that goes all the way to the top. I think I'm going to tone this down a little bit. Bring some of this middle green color back in at the top here. So here's my Alt button. It's the third one down on my remote here. Oh, I have to be on the brush. There we go. And I can select that color. And yes, I'm on brush. Let's see, hard round pressure size, yes. All of these are at 100. Let's just turn the size up. I actually kind of want this to come out more here. I'm looking over here at the navigator as well, so that helps since it's already smaller, so I don't have to make the workspace image smaller. Just so I can see what is the overall effect. I kind of want a little bit more white right here, but we could do a disconnected line of the white. Something like that. Oh, I don't really like how bumpy that is. Let's try that again. We're getting there. Something like that. Yeah. Maybe I'll actually try to match this up better with it and bring some green back here. Yeah, that's good. Smooth this. There, and that's nice. It's a nice variety too. A little bit more rhythm happening over here without being too uniform as you go across. Maybe we can even do the same thing with the middle green color. It's like same idea happening elsewhere. Yeah, that looks really nice. Yay! I hadn't thought of that before. Well, that one. Let's do it from the bottom. That. Something about that one's bothering me. Maybe like that. Okay, let's say that's good. Let's say that's good. That little extra line there. Yay! Let's do new layer. I'm gonna call this layer. I don't have room to move my keyboard over, so we're going to Where's just Haku? Haku. Gotta use my on-screen keyboard. What the heck? Where's the plain old white kanji? So this is gonna be the white layer. There it is. There. My keyboard is behind my tablet monitor right now. Normally I'd put my keyboard over to the side, but like I said earlier, my room is a total wreck after all the issues of the past month, and there's nowhere else to put my keyboard, so it is behind the monitor. Okay, so we've got this white layer. We're going to zoom into the eyes. It's just plain old white and color these in. Nice. Okay. Let's save this. Now, I want to look at what I did on the other icons that I finished. So, we still need some blushies, but that'll be the last thing. Well, maybe second to last. I might do coloring the lines before that, but I think we need some shading next. So we don't have any shading yet. For the most part, I think I have had these. Oh no, they're shaded from different angles. This one's coming from the left. Oh, this one's also coming from the left though. And this one's coming from the left. So I think the broccoli I had is coming from the top. But I guess now that I've noticed that, I will try to make the shading come from the left, top left. That's what I've done on most of them so far. So, start with the main color. The pixels are already locked, so we can just shade directly on here. I don't know if I want to use this color or just choose a darker color. That looks pretty good though. Let's just try this one as our first shade color. And I'm gonna make my, whoops, come back here. Make my brush really huge. So if we've got the shadow coming from here, these leaves are gonna be casting a massive shadow. So first we're gonna go just like that. Boom. And then also, there's going to be a shadow coming on this side because it's this round shape. You can sort of see it happening here. Although this is really well lit from all angles, so there's not that much strong shadow, but we're going to do something like this. This might be a little bit too dark, though, of a shadow for this first layer of shadow color. Yeah, I think that's too much. Okay, hold on. I'm going to take all this back. Let's see, maybe if I choose something. So, you know what? I'm going to do my trick. So first you select the color you're working with that you want to put shadow on. If it'll... What? Select this. Stop selecting other stuff. Okay. Photoshop is really giving me a problem today. Okay, then you open this up again. Okay, and then you can see down here it says current. So this color will stay, and then as you sort of select around here on the reference image, you can see what this color looks like that you've selected compared to what you already have on your canvas. So that way, I can pick a color that isn't as strong. Before, when I picked this shadow down here, that was too strong. This, I think, will be better. So let's do the same thing. Big shadow here. And shadow on the side. And we'll do shadow on the bottom because we can see there's a nice shadow there along that one. And let's see. Some of this color change is due to the shape But most of it, I think, is actually just due to the color of the plant, the pigment in the plant. So here you can see these gray lines are where it's shadow. So I think it is good to add some. But it doesn't seem to correspond. In fact, it seems to be in between. Maybe I'll just keep it simple for now. Keep this shading super simple. I'm going to bring this down even further. I'm imagining stick it way out. Like an umbrella. Okay. So, that's probably good. Let's go to the next color. I called it the transition color. We're going to lock the pixels. That way we can do the same thing. So let's do this trick again. Select the color. Click OK. And then go to select color again. That way, that color is now in this current box. And then select a color that seems like a good shadow color for it. It's not as dark as I'd like. Some a little more. Oh, yeah. Let's try that one. And we can just use color we already laid down. And I'll zoom in to try to match it up better. But for now, we use a big brush. We'll just match it up. And this part is actually pretty fun. It's fun once you got the base shadow lines down and then you're just matching it. Okay. And take the size of the brush way down. And then just match it up. Erase. I have to just go back to that color. I can't erase because I've locked the pixels. And besides, if I erase, it will just erase to nothing. Actually, I think if I erase, now that I have this background color, it'll erase to the background color. But that's not how it usually works, so that's confusing to me. So I just like to remember to do this instead. Okay, go back to the shadow color. Oh, let me just fill this one all the way in here. That's filled in good. Okay, come down here. And this is nice because we can use this to make this area look rounder. It was looking pretty sharp. But now the shadow can look nice and round like this bottom edge is. There. Okay. Got darker color. Oh shoot, I didn't realize we were over time. Having so much fun doing this. I did not notice at all. Well, let me finish this. Let me finish what my brain is in this mode. Let's finish it. Okay. And then, after I'm done for today, I'm going to look up more of that issue with the freaking move tool. Nobody's talking about it. Someone's got to be talking about it somewhere. I just haven't figured out how to find their conversations. Okay. Let's zoom back out. Yay! That's a nice start. Let's save. A little preview work for tomorrow's Chibi Friday stream, but that's it for today. Hooray! So let me get my keyboard back where I can use it. Put my monitor back. Okay. Let's see. Anybody streaming today for us to raid? Pop in Twitch. Oh, Just Freebird is streaming again. Oh. Allegrata is streaming, but it says stream ending on there, so... Axis Games is streaming. Margot Simone Art is streaming. Gosh, we have a lot of people streaming. Badger Blacksmith illustration at Yasmin Arts. Wow. Well, let's see. It's hard to choose. Guess let's go see Just Freebird again. She only has one viewer right now, and that's the least out of... There's nobody else with only one viewer, so let's go make her day with a little bit more viewership, shall we? Let me open a new Twitch tab. Like I always say, this is so that I can ensure the raid actually happens, because if I do it from the creator, the stream manager on the creator dashboard, it doesn't confirm. It doesn't give me any confirmation that it's actually working, so... Raid Just Freebird. Yay! Although it looks like everybody skedaddled after I said we were gonna raid, so maybe it'll just be me, but that'll be okay. Let's hit enter. Alright. Yep. Looks like everybody jumped ship. Well, that's it for today. Yep, thanks for watching today, and I hope to see you tomorrow. I'll be back with more Chibi Friday work on this lovely little baby bok choy. I hope to see you then. Thank you for watching!